Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 188. I'm Rory.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Aaron.
It's November 30th.
It is almost December. Time to bust out the fake Christmas tree and
I think he was going to say time to bust a nut.
Time to bust a nut and drink some of that holiday nog because it doesn't have egg in it and they can't call it eggnog anymore.
No, not November. Ends tomorrow.
No nog.
In fact, it'll be over by the time you're listening to this podcast. Oh, man.
That's why Andrew wants it to be a short
why the hell
one.
are you listening to this podcast?
Instead of taking
there are more important things you should be doing.
Spend a
on
whole
Monday,
day
though, on the 3rd of December.
Yeah, man, it's a weekend. Spend the whole weekend having a bit of fun, you know.
So you
Did
guys
anybody actually take part in that?
I don't think anybody on planet Earth actually took part in it.
It was all just some of them spicy maymays. Oh man, haha, don't nut.
Anyway, so you guys, I know you guys have been playing a lot of Red Dead single player. Oh God, yeah. And you guys have delved. Hopefully, so did Red Dead Online? Did it come out? Is it in beta? Explain to me this whole thing.
I guess I'll field this. Yeah.
Go for it.
It's in beta at the moment. It came out. It kind of had a weird rollout system. When was it? Tuesday. It came out on Tuesday for people who have the Ultimate Edition. Didn't have to pre-order it or anything like that. But if you bought the Ultimate Edition, you got access on Tuesday. And then there was like a number of other days based on when you started playing it, what edition you had, and now Friday when we're recording this, it's available to everybody who owns the game. And the reasoning for the staggered rollout was so that they could kind of bring the servers up to speed rather than it being a flat-out entirely broken experience like GTA Online was when that launched for probably the first week. So it's good that we have it. It's out. It seems to work. I've had a number of disconnects and things, but for the most part, it's been a pretty, standardized experience. It seems to work as intended for the most part. Many of its issues lie elsewhere. I guess to cover the basics, I mean, the online is very much like GTA Online. It covers the entire world map, so all of New Austin and the other 4 states, West Elizabeth, Amberino, New Hanover, and Lemoyne. You can go anywhere you want, do whatever you want. There's a number of activities to do, stranger missions. Some of them are from the single-player story. Some of them are from the first game. Some of them are new. So some returning faces, which is cool. And you can set up a camp and that some of your friends can stay with and all that sort of thing. Buy horses, buy weapons, clothes. It works very similarly to how single-player works with the exception of a couple of things. I think the biggest one is that we have a secondary currency now, which is the gold bar currency. And that is effectively the microtransaction premium currency.
Yeah! So you should throw in some party sound effects.
That's the tip of the iceberg on where this starts to unravel a bit. And, it's a whole thing. I don't know if you want to talk about anything, Andrew.
Oh, it's awful. Truly horrible.
I mean, I think the gameplay that's there is very similar to single player, and it's fun. I do enjoy it. But it's kind of hampered by the fact that a lot of it seems like its intent is to kind of prolong your progress. So, like, whereas hunting in single player can provide different pelts and things that you can make outfits with and effectively get different unique benefits from having these, like, legendary pelts or even just selling pelts. You know, you can make a decent bit of money just killing an animal and selling it. And in online, killing animals is really the only sustainable way to make income, and it's been massively reduced in how much you can actually earn from them. There's no outfits you can make. It really just serves as a means of eating because you still need to eat in online, so you can get meat from them, and you can also sell the carcass and pelt for a couple of dollars. And it's annoying when, you know, it's $18.99, so it makes sense to only make a few bucks off of it, but when most of the things you're going to be buying cost hundreds and hundreds up to thousands of dollars, it really just becomes a bit of a stagnated process because, you need to spend
just
money
to be
on
clear,
ammo.
nothing cost thousands of dollars in single player mode. It's just in the multiplayer mode.
Yeah, most of the items
everything
have been,
was jacked up in price by about 10 times.
Yeah, like, and there's direct comparisons. Like some weapons in single player cost like $30, and online they cost $300. So it's like very, very obviously fucking the scale to make the progress harder and longer, which is kind of compounded by the fact that most items are level locked, which isn't too similar to how GTA Online worked when it first started. I figured Rockstar would have learned their lesson at this point. But instead of learning the lesson of taking the leveling out, they kept the leveling in and now allow you to buy items that are behind a level requirement, and you can buy them with gold bars. So, oh man, this code is level 98. Well, you can buy it now for 5 gold bars, which is God knows how expensive
Does it
in real
scale
life.
with your level difference, I wonder? Because
maybe.
one code I looked at was like level 14 or something like that, and I think I was just level 1, and it cost like 14 gold bars to use.
It might. I mean, I hope it scales. Part of me is saying, God, no, it doesn't do that. It costs what it costs. Being Rockstar, but it's a really dumb system. It effectively makes this whole experience pay to win, because
so there is PvP, is there in this?
That's
PvP.
all it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, well that's
I would have said on
worse.
Tuesday that this online has a much better community than GTA, and on Tuesday it did, but at the moment it sure as hell doesn't, because now that everybody's playing it, not just Ultimate Edition owners, pretty much everybody you come across is griefing the shit out of everybody.
Now that the scrubs, the peasants, have joined the fray.
Yeah. Yeah, and the game doesn't really help it either. There's a lasso that you get like immediately, and that you can hog tie other players with it, so you can kind of just like sneak up on something. And it's a cool thing. It's cool that it's in the game, and it works well in single player and all that, but it fundamentally acts entirely just as a griefing tool in this, because you can sneak up on someone and lasso them, hog tie them. They have the option to break out, but what everybody that I've seen do that when I come across them is they hog tie you, and if you try to escape, they just kill you and kill your horse and fuck off, and then just keep doing that over and over and over again, so that you really can't do anything on your own. You can't make progress on your own. You're just constantly paying a vet bill or buying your horse back or reviving your horse, which also costs money. So you end up just going backwards because people are being assholes, which is really fucking annoying. They need to. I think they said they're going to add a solo lobby option later on, because it is still in beta.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are you
at the
going
moment,
to be able to make the same progress though? Because I know in GTA Online, a lot of stuff required you to be in public lobbies.
I would imagine all of the events, like the strangers, those are free roam events. I would imagine everything that requires you to be in a public lobby so that other people can attack you and potentially, like, some of the strangers will say, like, steal a wagon, and then you bring the wagon to a place and you get money for it. If you're in public, then other people can sort of intercept you and fuck with the wagon or take it from
and that's
themselves.
built into the mission. The game tells you that, hey, you're at the part of the mission where other players are encouraged to attack you.
Yeah, I mean, GTA did that as well, but all of those things were removed from private and solo lobbies. So I imagine the stranger missions will be removed from private as well.
But that's stupid. That's removing a major part of this game.
Well, yeah, at this point, it's pretty much removing everything outside of just hunting. So, I mean, you can still do the matchmaking missions with, like, effectively the story missions. Those aren't in free roam. Those are kind of in their separate own instance. You can do that with up to 4 players. And some of those are fun. I like that this has it's not a super deep story, but it has a story now, which GTA Online did not. A lot of the missions give you options, so you can choose to be honorable or dishonorable, basically, when it comes to the crux of the mission. Some stranger missions are inherently dishonorable or honorable, and they let you know that at the beginning, so you can choose like what character you want to be. But also, as I've played a little bit more of the story, it also, depending on the choices you make in the story missions, if you decide to be honorable or dishonorable, it will unlock honorable or dishonorable missions. So like you get sort of a unique path a little bit, which I think is really cool, but it's really a shame how the rest of the game handles a lot of it.
Also, this game lets you buy an honor change as well.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
One of the microtransactions is to change your character from low honor to high honor. And this is microtransaction money exclusive. You can't earn this.
Yeah, there's
playing the game.
It's worth noting there are a number of things in the game that are microtransaction exclusive. I'll just go into one now. I'm looking at the guns. One of the main ones in single player, if you want to change the aesthetic of your gun, you can change sort of the metal materials. That's like, to change all of them maybe costs $30 in single player. In multiplayer, it's all locked to gold bars. And I think if you want to change everything to gold, let's just see if I change everything to gold on my volcanic pistol here. Costs 30 gold bars. So
Sick.
That's fucking stupid.
Do we have any idea how much a gold bar is in real money?
Not at this point, because the store is not live. It is still beta. You can't actually spend money on it at the moment. But
If you had to guess, what would you say?
Well, you can earn gold bars through playing, and currently at the moment I have 100 gold nuggets, they call it, equals 1 gold bar. So I effectively have 168 nuggets. So I have 1 gold bar and 68. Okay, thank you for doing that. You're a cool person. I don't know. I would say, depending on how long, or based on how long it's taken me to get that, I would say that like
it's $1,
like
right?
it's probably $1
I'm gonna
each.
say a bar is $1.
Yeah. Did you say that thing costed 300 bars?
It costs
30. Oh, okay.
So
Still
if
too
it's
much.
To change
How
one of
about
your
that?
guns to gold color.
Assuming it's $1 each, which I think is low for Rockstar. Assuming it's $1 each, that's $30 to change 1 gun.
Yeah, so half of, or just short of half of another game, let's say.
Yes.
More or
Right?
less,
Like,
yeah. And that's
a Black Friday
ridiculous.
game, right?
And I wonder if you make another character, you'd have to pay $30 more to change that same gun.
Do you think that a gold
You
skin
would, yeah.
is roughly equivalent to a whole new game worth of experience?
Absolutely
Because
not.
I can't even see how someone could rationalize this. This sounds awful. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I mean, it is. Like, you look at GTA, and they had, microtransactions in that game. There was a lot of equating in-game content to real-life dollars, and even back then, it's like, oh man, you can get a car for like 60 real-world dollars. Now, at the time, this car, it could fly and shoot rockets and had a parachute and could jump, and it's like, oh man, that's cool. Even that's not worth the monetary value. Now we're getting things that are way, way more basic in practice and in functionality, and it costs just as much. Like, oh, you don't get flying cars, you get a gun, $30. Like, fuck off. It's so stupid. I really hope they change it. They do have a big feedback thing in just about every corner of the game, and their whatever you call it, marketing of online is telling you to go and give feedback. So it seems weird to me that Rockstar actually want feedback on something, because normally they're like, here's what it is, fuck you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're open to feedback on this one. Hopefully they're actually listening to some of it. And rather than like, oh, people want more gold bars. All right, here you go.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where Battlefront 2 fucked up, right? They didn't have a single player that was really awesome that they released first. Like, Red Dead has built up so much goodwill that that's going to severely minimize the negative press. I mean, there's still going to be negative press because that's how the internet works, right? Like, there's no real avoiding it. But now, especially with Bethesda going through their thing and Blizzard going through their thing, a lot of people have gone to Red Dead as an antidote
Right,
that
and
sort of
and I
thing.
would just like to say that the single player Red Dead Redemption 2 is still a 10 out of 10 experience.
Oh, I don't doubt
it. It's really, really good. It's
Yeah,
just the
and
multiplayer component is dog shit.
Yeah.
This
Is definitely not a case of like a game like Call of Duty, maybe, which is probably not a great example anymore because it doesn't even have single player. But there's a number of franchises that like exist to service their multiplayer component, and the single player element is kind of just tacked on because a significant percentage of their player base play single player.
Battlefield 5 just came out.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the same thing. Like the single player is really not the selling focus there. It's there, but people are buying it for the multiplayer experience.
100%.
That's not the case here. I mean, people will still buy this for online. I've seen a number of streamers who just started playing Red Dead for the multiplayer, and as much as that breaks my heart because the single player is so good, Red Dead does not exist, in my mind anyway, does not exist to service the multiplayer. As much as from a financial standpoint for Rockstar, it probably does. Yeah. They still gave the single player like 110% easy. It very much can stand on its own as a single player game. The online is irrelevant.
Yeah, and the streaming thing is a particular thing because those guys are going to gravitate towards online anyways. They're shy away from streaming single player.
It's weird that like a lot of streamers did like it was ahead of Fortnite for at one point when it came out. In terms of people just playing single player, which is great. Great to see that people are playing a single player game and it's ahead of Fortnite on Twitch. But at the same time, it's like there's still a lot of big people who. Like, oh, the multiplayer's out. This game is finally worth playing. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
there is a battle royale mode coming to Red Dead.
I did hear about that.
Which might actually be interesting.
Oh, well, battle royale isn't inherently bad.
Yeah,
it's just trendy.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's a number of games in the past that have done it before battle royale bullshit exploded. I'm not against battle royale either. But I think what Fortnite and what PUBG have done to it is not good. No. But I think if you take the setting of Red Dead and have sort of a battle royale, it's not like about crafting shit or buying loot boxes or anything, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a Western game, so I feel like that lends itself to that setting.
I agree. And I actually think some cases of battle royale, like the Call of Duty Battle Royale thing, I actually think Call of Duty dropping single player and including Battle Royale is kind of what Call of Duty should do. I think that's more true to form to what the game actually is.
It was certainly a smart decision on Activision's front.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Call of Duty, as I recall, Call of Duty's been copying game modes for years. I remember, I don't know if you guys played any like Black Ops 2, but that had gun game. Right?
Yeah.
Where you progress through 20 guns, and every time you get a kill, you get to the next gun. And then if you get a kill with all the guns, you win. And that's a Counter-Strike game mode, right?
Yeah.
That they just
shit.
copied and pasted over, and it was a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how their latest effort has gone, but speaking about broken economies, let's talk about the real-world economy of selling Fallout 76 collector's editions.
Did you have any idea how expensive canvas is nowadays?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Those poor companies trying to make those Fallout themed canvas bags. It's such a strange thing because
Amazon selling an 11 by 14 inch stretched canvas 2-pack for $15.
So here's the thing, though, that I like about this. Bethesda has come up with multiple different statements about this because there was one case where someone wrote in like a support ticket, and the support team the guy on the other end of that responded, and then Bethesda came out and they were like, no, it's not because it's too expensive, it's because there's a materials shortage or something. Like there's been
I'm an idiot. This is painting canvas. Aaron, can you edit me out? Edit that whole conversation out.
I did hear stretched. I was like, that's probably not what you make a bag out of, but you probably could, and it would still be better than a fucking nylon bag.
Why don't I tell you right now that you can buy a canvas bag for $24.99.
And how much was the collector's edition?
Oh man,
it was in Canada. It was $2.99.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you can buy a canvas bag there, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could probably buy a couple. You probably ship 3 with every regular copy of Fallout 76. This is such a strange
It was $250.
thing.
It was $300, I think.
So people instead got a much sort of
$350.
No, I think it was $250 Canadian.
Oh,
let me just check my order.
Either way,
here.
fuck me, man.
The
fucking bag.
And like and part of it too is like this is like one of the things in a collector's edition that you like hypothetically could actually use in the real world, like a bag. You know, like you could bring that to work or school or whatever the hell, right? Like,
well, now you got your Fallout brand sandwich bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bring your lunch.
I gotta be honest. I was looking for the bag when I opened up the package.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was wondering where the cool bag is, because even on the Best Buy site where I ordered it from, it still got that picture of the pretty cool canvas bag in the background here.
Yeah.
I was looking for it, and no, it's like it was it's a shitty little nylon thing that was all crumpled up and like folded together into a little square that could fit in my hand.
Well, they were gonna say you threw it out by accident.
The thing I find,
I almost did, kind of, but I opened it up and it, expanded it, and it's like, what it is. It's a bag for the helmet.
Yeah.
So it's shaped for that helmet. It's just big enough to fit over the helmet. So it's not usable for anything other than putting the helmet in, really. And it's such a shitty nylon bag that you wouldn't want to use it anyway. It's awful. It's stupid.
You may find this interesting. I'm just reading right now, actually, that there was a Fallout 76 event, and free canvas bags were given to the Fallout influencers who showed up.
Yeah!
I think
that's because they make Bethesda that canvas money back, Roy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is a really fascinating thing. But what's most fascinating?
I found unprimed cotton canvas roll on Amazon, 6 yards by 62 inch, $50. That's 6 yards of canvas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they well, more than you need. And like this is just a really peculiar thing, because there's no one on the other side of this. Right? Like, there's no one who's like, I really do like like, this is just false advertising. They're lying about something you're getting.
Yeah.
Like, it's very black and white. As sort of return for this, however, they're giving everybody 5 atoms.
500 atoms.
500 atoms, which is about $5 as it turns out, which I've just recently learned is almost enough to buy a replica of that bag in game, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get a mailman outfit in the game that has a canvas mail bag.
Yeah.
For 700 atoms.
Oh right, yeah. We just missed it. It's oh man.
It's worth noting that Bethesda could have done something about this, because I supported a Kickstarter probably 2 years ago at this point for a company that were making an Elite Dangerous pen and paper RPG, and they had a number of issues with getting more to the. My point is that one of the things that they ran into was a supply issue, similar to what Bethesda went through in the GM shield, which was like an optional thing that you could buy if you wanted to get like a shield with all the rules and stuff printed out. You know how they put them in front of them. Yeah. They had to change the materials on that to sort of a shittier material because of supply issues or something to do with they overestimated the cost or whatever it was. And instead of going, well, I guess we'll just change it on the website and send everyone this piece of shit anyway, they sent out like a Kickstarter email to everybody who had ordered one and said, if you would like a refund, you can have your money back, but we need to change the material because of just the cost. It wasn't realistic to get all these printed. So they're like, you can have your money back or you can take it as is. It's up to you.
Really, all Bethesda had to do was just tell everybody.
Yeah. I think that would have been infinitely, indisputably better. and those are some people making a pen and paper RPG, and they have enough sort of integrity and sense to what was interesting is that last week we talked about Fallout 76, and Aaron sort of I'm not gonna say he won me over on the game because I still haven't purchased it, and it's still to my knowledge phenomenally broken and not not as of yet in a shippable state. But I was sort of like, I remember I went back and I watched our E3 podcast where we talked about Fallout 76. And one of the things I said back then, I said was, I like Fallout lore, and to me, this is a counterintuitive way to communicate it. And, I sort of felt that this wasn't Fallout because it didn't use all the Fallout things. But Aaron raised a great point. He said, Star Wars is Star Wars, whether it's a Battlefront game where you have the shooter or it's a KOTOR game, and they both sort of work in their own right. And I thought that was a great point. And that thought me, maybe I should try this Fallout, this sort of new angle on it. And then, of course, this was right before this came out. Not to say that this dissuades me from it, but it's like, they had a bit of goodwill for a second there, right? Like with me, by virtue of Aaron.
But I mean, you're right. No. This isn't a good way to use the lore because
to a certain extent, I still stand by that point. But I find myself now a little sort of more open to the idea than at least I was beforehand.
Yes, I'm more open. After playing it, I do kind of see, like, okay, a multiplayer Fallout could potentially work.
Yes.
If it's done properly. The Fallout 76 wasn't done properly, but, like, if they brought in actual NPCs and like, factions and real quests into that world, I think it could have been all right, potentially.
I think personally, a lot of people have said that Bethesda has sort of lost goodwill. I think that's to a certain extent true, but I think it's more temporarily disabled. Because I can almost guarantee that by the time, we get more stuff for Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield or whatever, everyone's gonna get right back on the train with Bethesda, talking about how they're a great company that almost never fails. And
unfortunately, I think you're right.
There's going to be Elder Scrolls 6 pre-orders galore. That's my suspicion.
I think Fallout 76 is a big enough blemish for people to remember.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't think they'll remember. But I think it'll be overshadowed by think of how many times Skyrim came out with the same bugs and people, it didn't affect anything.
Yeah,
like, people buy that 6, 7, 8
I think
times.
you have to remove Bethesda's apparent lack of giving a fuck when it comes to making a game like Fallout 76. I think Fallout 76 could have been awesome, but there's just so many things that they overlooked, and like there's bugs that people have known about, Bethesda has known about since Fallout 4, and they didn't change anything. So it's just a very obvious copy and paste. It just like that on top of everything that Andrew just said. It's like it just doesn't. It's like it's not bad because it's a bad idea. It's bad because Bethesda made it bad.
Yeah, exactly, and they definitely deserve some blame for that. But I'm not even sure personally if I feel that this will, for my own part, affect the way I see Elder Scrolls 6, because a lot of these problems, admittedly, you're 100% correct. There are bugs that have been present in other games on sort of similar iterations of this engine, but I think a lot of the problems are due to the fact that it's a multiplayer game, and Elder Scrolls 6,
absolutely.
We pray will not be.
There's a number of systems that are integral to that game engine that don't work in multiplayer, and it's only made apparent with Fallout because the way items spawns, the way different things just work in the game doesn't work when it needs to work for everybody.
Yeah.
So it again, I'm going to put that on Bethesda. That's not a problem with the game. That's a problem with Bethesda not seeing the fault in it or not giving enough fucks to change
choosing not to fix it.
Yeah, I mean they could have made a new engine for this or remade the systems to work differently, but they didn't. They just oh, okay, it has network support now.
Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, they didn't delay Fallout 76 to hold it off for more quality assurance. But not to worry, they're taking their time.
Rory, it had like 4 betas that were 2 hours long each.
They're taking their time with Elder Scrolls Blades, not to ever release a broken product.
No.
The Elder Scrolls Blades has been delayed till next year. They are not saying literally anything about it whatsoever. They're not sharing any more details. Just that they're going to release it next year. And one can only imagine that Pete's been playing it and doing all the quality testing for ages now, and that he needs a couple extra months.
You got to figure out how to make that engine work on a phone.
Yeah, it's the same engine.
Oh man, no doubt, no doubt.
I guess they didn't want 2 Black Eyes this year.
I mean, yeah, I think that's true. And but
All their
the
shareholders
one thing,
like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't think
the fuck?
is Bethesda a publicly traded company?
I don't know.
Do
Probably.
they have shareholders?
I do not know. They I hope they don't, because those people are going to be pretty upset right about now.
That's why we're seeing such a disregard for pretty much anything.
But do you know what? The Elder Scrolls Blades is kind of important in that. So I really thought there was a misunderstanding of the fan reaction to Diablo Immortal when people were said, oh, they're just mad that they're making a mobile game. No, they're not. That was not even kind of the problem, right? It was a combination of a couple things. It was that their big announcement was a mobile game. It was that the mobile game had things they wanted in the regular game. And, like, the Elder Scrolls Blades kind of proves that, because no one was super upset that they're making the Elder Scrolls Blades. Right? Like, this is, to a certain extent, they did it correctly. It's not like Todd came out and said, you know what, instead of, working on literally anything else, we've been doing this. We got everybody working on it, and it's a fully fledged Elder Scrolls experience on your phone. Like, it's not.
Is it fully fledged though?
No, it isn't. That's what I mean. But they didn't advertise it really like that. Whereas Diablo Immortal was like, oh, it's going to be a, top of the line Diablo experience on the phone, which we all know is not real. And so at the very least, they've done sort of some good PR behind that. I don't know if I mean, are phone games free usually? Would this be free?
I mean, free to download, yes.
Yeah, if it's free to download, I will download it and try it, if for no other reason than to talk about it on this podcast.
That's really what they should call them from now on. That's what I'm going to call them now. Free to download.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Playing them is questionable most of the time without paying money.
Free
to run.
Yeah, free to run. I kind of wish Adam was here on this podcast to talk precisely about this topic. The PlayStation Classic. Not that Adam sort of has anything to do with the PlayStation Classic in particular, but he does have a long-running, painful, and anger-filled history with retro consoles.
Why is this a new thing? I played PlayStation Classic 20 years ago.
Well, now you can play it with far less and more peculiarly curated games.
What? So do we know what games are on it?
Oh, we do. You have Battle Arena Toshinden,
What?
Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube.
What?
Intelligent Cube, spelled Qube. It might be Ube or something. I'm not sure.
Cube.
Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Rayman, Resident Evil, Revelations Persona. That's just the first Persona game. Ridge Racer, Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2. What the fuck? All right.
What?
Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. So what was interesting about this list is that some of them are coming out in different versions. So if you don't know, if you played,
So you're telling me you got to buy all 5 different PS Classics to get all the games now?
No, they all come out on the PlayStation Classic. But if you remember back in this time, you had different formats for games. There was PAL and NTSC. And if you had any friends from England, like I did, you noticed that all those games had the PAL format. And the PAL format means that it runs worse, basically. to not to put too fine a point on it, but some of these games, instead of having the NTSC version, are having the PAL version, which is totally unnecessary.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So they're releasing the worst version of at least a few of these. One of which is Tekken 3, and it's entirely unacceptable to have a fighting game that doesn't run at an appropriate frame rate, because fighting games are based in frames. But I guess they don't care about that.
If you're buying like a novelty mini console with like bullshit plastic and fucking wired 3-inch long controller things, I don't think you're super serious about fighting games.
I kind of agree with you. I will also say that I think physically, the console is very impressive. Like the size of it, the structure. I think it looks really good.
Man, how'd they fit all those games on there?
But it's like, you could do this by yourself, right? Like, as a not entirely intensive DIY
I'm sure you can play half of those
project.
games in a web browser now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you could, like, I know we're always talking about emulators on this show, but today Adam's not here to complain about us talking about emulators on this show.
Get fucked,
So,
Adam.
this would be trivial. You could find ROMs of all these games for sure. Most of them are famous games, and the ones that aren't are games you should never want to play anyways.
Oh yeah, I mean we played, what was it, Pokemon last week? That was in a web browser, and it looks way better than the original version of the game.
Exactly. Yeah,
It runs in color at 1080.
I'm kind of curious now as to what Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo is.
Oh man.
Oh, interesting. So apparently, when it came out, it released to mixed to positive reviews. It seems.
That's good. Better shove that on our console.
Got an 83% at GameSpot.
Oh man.
Ooh.
It's a Capcom Street Fighter.
Anything above 83%, throw on the mini.
The stat I have here says it got
whatever
a 7.6 on GameSpot, Andrew.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, that equals 83 if
you.
you. 7.6 out of 10 equals 83, Roy.
Yeah, right.
Learn math.
Google lied to me, okay? But this is the Dr. Mario of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario Street Fighter Turbo Puzzle Edition.
Yeah.
This is just another low effort retro console that could have been a lot better if only someone had thought before doing it. Like, this is really strange. Like,
you don't need to think. People are going to spend $300 on eBay on this already.
You know what? You're right. There's sort of no way around that.
You know what?
Man.
Put an Ethernet port on this thing, or actually just put wireless on this thing. And with the game, you get a voucher for 20 free games on the PlayStation Store that you have access to.
Yeah.
And there you go. And if you want to get more after that, you can purchase them for a reasonable sum. That's how you do this.
I'm pretty sure I can get a lot of these games on my PlayStation 3. Like,
yeah,
you can buy PS1 games on that on the store. Why doesn't this have store functionality? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Also, this comes with the non-analog stick controllers.
Yes, that's right. It comes with the they're just worse. I mean, it's never better to not have something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Sony had been smart about this, they would have put basically give it like you're saying, give it a hard drive, more or less, and then put like 10 games on it or something. Have different packs that come with different games, and then give it network functionality that essentially gives you like a subscription, like Netflix service to all of their PS1 games.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can like swap them out or rotate them or whatever.
It would be
And
trivial.
that would be sort of like a good entry point, I think, for a lot of people to like PS Now or whatever the hell that service is.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, like, you could imagine, like, if you just put like the littlest bit of memory on this thing, like,
Yeah.
like how big is, like, let's say Persona for the PS1. So
30
Persona
megs.
for the it's actually 674 megs.
Oh man. All those space.
So like, but like still, like even if you put like a respectable, like storage doesn't come in very small amounts anymore. You know what I mean? Like, how much is a hard drive? Like,
Yeah, I mean, if they
you
put
know.
the fucking tiny ass hard drive they put in the PS4 when that came out, you'd have so many PS1 games.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Also, I just want to look at this for a second. Why is this coming with the director's cut of Resident Evil?
I don't know. I kind of wondered that myself.
The director's cut, the only notable differences with the director's cut is it's got worse music.
Yes,
And
substantially.
it has analog stick control. And this thing doesn't have analog
I
sticks.
forgot about
shit.
that. Yeah, the music is 1,000 times worse. Andrew isn't kidding.
Fucking revive.
This just makes me sad now. It's like everything about this could have been like the only saving grace of this that you could possibly argue. Okay, so first of all, a lot of these games have remakes. Resident Evil is you can get remakes of the first Resident Evil, right?
Yes.
You're about to be able to get remakes of the second Resident Evil. Final Fantasy VII is getting a huge do-over, right? Tekken 3, well, you could just buy Tekken 7. It's not like there's something in Tekken 3 that isn't in Tekken 7. It's this, you have a larger roster now. And Twisted Metal has, other versions. This is just a weird selection of games. I feel like you could have done some like PS1 RPGs and something like that. And made them actually games that were interesting to have on this sort of thing. Persona is arguably Persona and Metal Gear Solid, I think, are probably the only games that actually belong on here.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know what some of this stuff is, so it's hard to say.
Hey, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're super excited for Anthem, BioWare's new game.
Oh,
Have you
man.
had any luck signing up for the alpha?
Me neither.
Yeah,
I guess you put this on here, Rory?
Yeah, I tried to sign up for the alpha today, because why not, right? Like, why not, try it? And the page is under maintenance, and I thought maybe that the website I read the link on posted the wrong link, so I went to another website, and that page was under maintenance. So that's not a good
Is that what it
show.
said?
Yeah, it says under maintenance. We apologize for any inconvenience. We will be back online shortly.
Because I clicked on it because I read that just before the podcast started.
Yeah.
And I tried to sign up as well, and it said under heavy traffic. Try again later.
Oh, mine said maintenance. See, so it's not good if you're doing a test for network issues and you can't even get the goddamn sign-up form for the test to work properly.
Yeah, they got to do a beta for their beta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll see if we can get this
Sign
right.
up
Yeah.
now.
Too many people are logging. Also, I don't buy that for a split second that there were too many people that the technology hasn't caught up to the number of people who want to join in on the Anthem beta, which, a news story that was released like today. There's no way.
No, I totally don't buy it either. I'm under the assumption that it's total bullshit. There's only been like 4 people on that website, me and you would be 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to foster, I don't know, they're trying to like maybe fool people into buying the game. Because oh man, there's so many people that want to play this. I better play it too.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh man, I can't even play the beta. There's so many people. Oh man, I better pre-order now.
I mean, I'm signing up for it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, successfully?
Yeah.
Oh, I just tried
man.
again, and it told me it was under heavy traffic. Thanks, Andrew.
Oh, when I finish this mission, I'm gonna check it myself. The one beta applicant, Andrew.
I was watching a thing the other day. It was like a tour of like the DICE offices or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little I'm not kidding. There's a part of the office that's a store where the employees can buy EA games. If that isn't the most EA thing I've ever seen in my life. You don't even get the games for free if you work there. You just get a more convenient way to buy them.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's.
Says
You
it's,
probably get free
yeah.
demos every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You gotta pay to watch the trailers as well.
Yeah.
There's an EA employee right now trying to sign up for the alpha, but he can't do it because it's under heavy traffic.
Yeah, it still says under heavy traffic for me. So.
Oh man, the
I guess
this
they
is
just
just
know
hilarious.
a BioWare fan when they.
Yeah.
When they
It says on his Origin account he's already bought a BioWare game, so let him sign up.
Yeah.
So we all love anime.
You know it.
You know what? Anime can be good.
Anime can be good. I think that's the essential thing to say about anime. And
It
it's
is possible.
Yeah. And there are anime that I really enjoy. There's some terrific stuff out there. There
Like
are also
Escaflowne.
there's also movies
Bless
I
you.
enjoy. Like I really like Blade Runner. The final cut that was released in the 90s. And I also like the new movie 2049. A lot actually. I believe that year I believe it was my number 3 film.
2 real good movies.
2 real good movies. Well, now it's getting an anime, and I don't really know how to feel about it because it might be good. Like we might, I want to talk shit right now, and then it turns out it's awesome, and I look the fool. But you know what? I'm
Thank
sort
you.
of willing to say that I'm not massively confident.
Who's making this?
So it's Crunchyroll, I believe, in partnership with Adult Swim.
Uh,
That seems like a weird partnership to me, personally.
wasn't Crunchyroll also making their own anime that looked awful?
Well, I mean, Crunchyroll is Crunchyroll. Like, that probably. Like,
No, it was like their first in-house anime.
oh, I didn't know that. I would have thought they would have done one before. This does not. This kind of makes it worse to me. But I don't know. And Adult Swim is just a weird mixed bag of things, to be honest, in my opinion.
High Guardian Spice.
I'm sorry?
The show is called High Guardian Spice.
High Guardian Spice.
Yeah.
Oh,
do
no.
they deliberately do they deliberately name shit so you have no idea what the fuck is going on unless you watch 8 seasons of it? Fuck me, man.
This is...
Every anime
I
has
don't
such
think it's
stupid-ass
not
name.
it's not a Japanese anime.
No, this is not something you want to Google. This is...
Anyway, this isn't the first Blade Runner anime, though. There was a short that came out around the time of 2049's release called Blade Runner Blackout 2022, which
Okay,
was a
yeah.
15-minute anime short.
And it was
it was
anime.
like-
It was not Western animation. You're saying it was an actual anime thing.
No, it was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe or
Yeah, Western.
Watanabe.
Wait, why do I know that name?
He directed Cowboy Bebop the movie
That's why.
and the Animatrix,
Yeah. I
or
know the name.
parts of the Animatrix.
I know the name from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry I butchered his name, but there you go.
The
That was my shitty gaijin mouth.
that
I thought it was a Koju or something.
Andrew, he's also doing this.
Oh, is he doing this?
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
I'm good
This
with
is
it.
gonna be good. Yep. All right. That's over. Yeah. That leads sort of well more cleanly into the other sort of parallel thing that's happening, which is an anime is getting a live action series, and that's Cowboy Bebop. And I believe this is Netflix, correct? I don't. Is it just me or can Cowboy Bebop, like, I don't know, I feel weird about saying don't make something, but like Cowboy Bebop's just It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you have a vision for something, do it. I guess I don't want to stop them from making art that feels awful, but
I don't subscribe to the whole "you can't fix what's not broken" thing, because
Yeah,
I
me
think you
neither.
can always make things better.
you can always change things. And
Yeah.
yeah.
But Netflix does not have a good track record for adapting live action anime.
No, it actually has a pretty good set of original anime itself.
Sure.
It's actually not bad at that. But in terms of adapting it from other existing things, not phenomenal in my experience. We all watched Godzilla.
Which one?
The Netflix
terrible
anime.
one.
Yes, that's right.
What do you mean the terrible one? You mean the best one?
Well, to be fair, I was never a big Godzilla guy, I guess, to begin with. Truthfully, I've never Godzilla is fine. I actually kind of like the 2014 film that they made with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Like
it was
Quicksilver
a
and
pretty good
Scarlet
movie.
Witch?
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Not bad.
But I'm not a huge I'm not like Adam, who's like seeing the old Godzilla films and really gets into those. I
Fuck
I
old.
watched
A
a
lot of
few,
old
but-
shit is terrible. Fuck off.
Yes. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree, actually, in general, especially when it comes to Godzilla. Like some of that stuff is really and truly bananas. Andrew,
Yeah.
I know you like Daredevil.
Yeah, he's my favorite superhero on Netflix.
More than you're excluding Punisher, I'm assuming.
I don't count Punisher as a superhero.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So he's your favorite superhero on Netflix. Good choice,
Yeah.
I think. Much like his super friends, he's no longer on Netflix.
Oh no!
When this happened to Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I said they're taking them all, and that's looking sort of more and more likely every day, I think.
But Jessica Jones, the worst show, is still on.
That's just because Luke Cage and Iron Fist were canceled about a month and a half back, I think.
Oh, are they?
And and
I live under a rock, so I didn't know that.
so there was some breathing room then before Daredevil goes, and now I think there'll be a little more breathing room before Jessica Jones goes. Now I wasn't sure.
I really enjoyed the first season of Jessica Jones.
The first season of
Me
Jessica
too.
Jones was great.
Phenomenal.
Second
But
season,
the second season is dog shit?
awful. Yeah.
Oh,
In my opinion, the first season of Jessica Jones is the best season of any of those Marvel shows on Netflix.
I would agree.
They as a single product.
Luke
And,
Cage is redundant. I saw like a half of a Iron Fist episode because Dad was watching it for some reason. I was like, this is fucking terrible. What is this? And yeah. Oh man.
Jessica
people-
Jones season 2 was the only season I couldn't finish. I've seen all the others except for the latest season of Daredevil. I haven't gotten around to that yet.
I think Disney is probably not going to give Netflix anything it doesn't have to basically anymore. Especially with their own streaming service. Like even if they don't decide to continue these shows on their own streaming service, which I doubt they will, and also as Andrew informed me today, and I didn't know about this, apparently all the stuff there's a PG-13 limit on Disney's streaming service.
That's what I read.
So but this is peculiar to me because I said a few months back when Disney made that deal with Fox that this was going to be what made Disney's streaming service the sort of full product that it should be, is they were going to take all the Fox shows off of Netflix, right? And put stuff on their own streaming service, right? So I mean, there's countless Fox shows, right, that have aired really long series, right?
Okay.
But I mean, I guess that won't happen because a lot of those shows I think have like those 14 certificates.
Maybe. And there's a lot of movies that Fox has
Yeah, exactly.
produced.
That are not PG-13 necessarily. Right. I think that's an unnecessary.
That's what I read,
limitation.
but that could be wrong, or it could be a subsection of the streaming service that's like locked
parental
into
controls.
PG-13, and then there's another thing.
Right. So just like Netflix has Netflix, but there's also this Netflix Kids thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that could be it. That hopefully is it, because the streaming service. I mean, it's going to be hard to make a streaming service worth buying with only PG-13 content, in my opinion.
So according to fastcompany.com, there will be no R-rated features on Disney's new streaming site.
Oh, okay, that's fine, but no R-rated is a huge. There's a substantial rating gap there, right?
Yeah.
In content, so they could still get House or whatever the hell TV shows they want that aired on Fox and stuff like that, and still get away with that. Yeah, I honestly think this streaming service is going to be quite competitive if they take all the stuff they have the rights to take. Like, there's... Damn, Fox is a big one. And plus there's all the
it
Disney
has an
movies.
official name now, too. It's called Disney Plus.
That's true. It's not terribly
How'd they
original.
come up with that?
This is... at least, and you know what? If sort of nothing else, there'll probably be a membership available in Canada right away. Unlike DC Universe, still only in America. So if you want to watch the new Titan show, you can't. Sorry to you. And that sort of makes it worse even because it's actually supposed to be quite good. It's been doing very well critically, which is surprising. So, yeah, too bad for any DC fans that live in not the U.S. Like, that's a lot of people you're missing out on, in my opinion. I'm not sure if it's a rights issue or something. I can't see how it's a right. I mean, but DC must own distribution for their own content, right? Like,
maybe.
At least with Netflix, you could say, Netflix Canada.
This is the part where Adam would mention that at one point in the past they sold the rights to Robin to a separate cookie company than the cookie company that they wanted to advertise all of their Justice League or whatever characters on.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they fucked off and sold it to someone else.
Oh man, I just saw a news article about it's a guide to pre-ordering Devil May Cry 5. This just makes me so sad.
There's a fifth one now.
Yeah. You must remember we had a whole big thing about how the code is $1 billion.
I thought that was years ago.
Time moves differently for Aaron.
Yeah, Devil May Cry is 10 years ago for me. Stop living in the past, Roy.
You can get the collector's edition for $150 US. It looks like. This is not the turbo edition with the the $1,000 jacket. But it does come with it actually comes with a trunk.
Do you think that's going to be made out of nylon?
The trunk? Actually, I think it's worse.
No, I mean
the
jacket.
Oh yeah, probably yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, I suspect the trunk is actually just going to be a picture of a trunk.
Or something like loosely related that they can call a trunk.
In fact, it's okay. So I'm staring
it's
at
168th scale replica of a trunk.
I'm dropping a link.
Trunks.
I'm dropping a link right now in Gen Chat for you guys to look at this. So what you'll notice is that there's clearly a trunk in the pictures, but there is no trunk in the product description. It describes everything else that's supposed to be there except the trunk. And I don't like that at all.
All right. Well,
that means they don't have to include it, I guess.
Pete's at it again.
It's Pete.
Yeah.
He's over in Japan now.
Yeah, man, that's what fucking they're having a meeting. Todd, everyone's sitting around and they're like, well, man, how are we going to deal with this collector's edition problem? We don't have enough canvas. And Pete's like, why don't we make it out of nylon? And then he just raises his hands up and walks out of the room. And then Todd's like, well, that's why we keep him around. There you go.
Bethesda
on his way down to whoever makes Devil May Cry.
I read something that says that actually if you should not accept Bethesda's offer for
absolutely not
for their stuff, because apparently that
Oh, thank you.
It
that
voids
counts
any
as
legal
payment.
action. That
Yeah,
you wanna
exactly.
take.
Yeah,
it
which
counts as compensation. Yeah,
and you should be able to take legal action. You can't sell something that isn't there. It's ridiculous. That's not just like
if you bought something under the pretense that this is what it looks like before they changed it, because they did apparently go back and change it. But if you bought it before that, I feel like you're entitled to that product, or like actual compensation, not $5 of made up money.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the in fact, with not that many dollars of real money, you could get people to go out and buy their own canvas bags.
I'm pretty sure you can buy like a nice canvas bag for $50.
That would be a nice one too. I looked for like multiple pages of them and found them often varying between 25 and 40 for like generally for canvas bags. That's phenomenally overpriced. It's also just like how did you not anticipate? Can't anyone in this company do math? Like, you know what I mean? And like,
I'm seeing a nice nylon bag here for $21.
you
That's
are not
why.
gonna believe this. You can get a Dark Brotherhood canvas bag on the Bethesda store for $50.
Oh man!
Vintage canvas compact bag. Get the hell out of here, Bethesda. What are you doing?
You're saying you can buy it right now? They're not. They
Right
have
now.
the materials to make them.
Yeah, right now. You can get it literally right now.
Wow.
The
I guess the canvas shortage is over.
it's over. Yeah, we're
I guess
finally,
I guess they dug up some more canvas.
The
Yeah,
canvas
expect you-
heavens have opened, and down came all the canvas
The
This is-
canvas mines reopened and they were
of Corellia.
yeah.
This is unbelievable. It's a backpack and it's made of canvas and this Oh no.
You know,
fucked
if you go to Bethesda.net and search for Canvas, the first the first result is the Power Armor edition.
Also, I just want to say this. They're selling this backpack at $50 and you know they're not selling that at a loss. Right? Like
Yeah.
you can make one of these for sure.
Isn't like retail markup like 400% or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They spent
The,
less than $5 on that, easy.
This is amazing. How come I have never seen this before? That's funny.
I bet if you buy it, you'll just get a nylon one.
And then when you message them, they're like, "Yeah, it was the canvas was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it."
We're not planning on doing anything. Yeah, that's amazing. It's like a really bad time for for developers and publishers that people trusted not that long ago, like Blizzard and Bethesda. Like this is a rough time to be, one of those guys. And it's the list is growing sort of ever smaller, isn't it? Of like people I feel comfortable like pre-ordering things from.
I guess the message here is don't pre-order.
I mean, generally, I generally also advise not pre-ordering. I have done it once.
What do you mean? It's their best collector's edition.
Definitely, yeah. They feel it's their best collector's edition, which I feel like is categorically not true. Like I remember other Bethesda collector's editions. The Skyrim collector's edition, to me, seemed like a better buy than this. Truthfully, I think there was.
I don't remember
there
that
was,
one.
well,
The
with
statue
the
or something.
there was like a statue, there was a map, there was an art book. I'm saying it's a better buy only bearing in the fact that the bag is actually nylon. If the bag was canvas, you could probably make a case. But like, Bethesda have done fine collector's editions before, I'm sure. I'm looking at the Wolfenstein 2 one right now on Amazon. Looks perfectly respectable. Doesn't seem to be anything they could switch out if they wanted to. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do about this, man. There's not been a
Nothing.
whole lot of there's not been an aggressive amount of communication on the part of Bethesda. But kind of what could they say? It's like, I don't know if they're going to be able to come up with anything.
I mean, they can't. They really just gotta go back under the rock and wait until it blows over. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
the next thing they come out to talk about isn't also dog shit.
Honestly, it'll be they'll do a Starfield trailer or something whenever that's coming out. Do we have anything on that? In terms of
Nope.
information on timeline or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Um,
Oh, sweet, thanks.
did now Andrew? Can you? I'm testing your memory here. I know, but I don't remember. Was there a thing that suggested that the Elder Scrolls game was a next gen game? The new the Elder Scrolls 6 did I hear that correctly? There was a game I heard that about that. Oh, actually,
I
this
don't
game,
know. All I remember about Elder Scrolls is Todd Howard in an interview said that the technology for Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't exist yet.
They haven't
The
had
technology
time
they need to
overhaul
make the game
engine
doesn't
again.
exist yet. So
that's not encouraging. In my opinion.
it's also straight up lie if they're just reusing the same engine.
Also, like, how could he get? Well, yeah, but like, think about it
The
this way,
technology
right?
they're going to use for Elder Scrolls 6 has existed for like 20 years.
But what does he mean? Like, okay, so like, let's think about it. So, let's say the new consoles come in 2019 or 2020. First of all that hardware exists now, right? No one ships consoles on hardware that came out the day before they shipped the consoles, right? Like,
Yeah.
consoles use old hardware. That's part of the deal.
Oh, thank you.
The Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro are probably not that far off the capability of the next consoles. Not to a significant enough degree that I think you could say that it's that there's going to be a change that finally makes a game that was previously impossible possible. I just don't think that makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, I think next gen is relative there because it's a Bethesda game, and if Skyrim is any indication, it's going to be on every single platform that comes out or is out for the next 10 to 20 years. So,
Right.
yes,
yeah.
it will be a next gen game. It will be on current gen and next gen.
Yeah.
It'll be an all gen game, Roy.
Yeah, it won't stop. And I can only imagine how I've never seen, like, there are very few games like Skyrim or like Resident Evil 4 in its day where it just gets ported to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And you really don't, since you get to see that so rarely, you don't often get to see the follow-up to those games. And so I'll be very interested to see what they can do on capitalizing on that follow-up, because ideally selling the Elder Scrolls 6 should be kind of a slam dunk with all the people that have played Skyrim, which, as it turns out, are pretty much all the people. Like, Switch users, PC players, consoles, every type of console. People buying it again on consoles, special edition and all that. It's like it should be potentially record-setting, I imagine. I look forward to new information. I'll be playing it on PC, where I imagine you guys will also be playing it.
Yes.
What's it, X Elder Scrolls?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Whenever, if there's a PC version, there probably will be, then yeah.
I'm not going.
Depending on how bullshit the fucking Bethesda launcher gets in the future, whether or not it's even on Steam or if it's exclusive to that, who knows?
Oh no, I didn't even think about that. That's not good. That's that.
I think it depends mostly on if it's going to be loaded with microtransactions, or if they suspect
Probably will
that
be.
if they suspect that a lot of people will be going for refunds, because I think those
Yeah.
are the two main reasons that Fallout 76 is not on Steam.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
Valve takes 30% of those microtransactions, and also has a pretty good refund policy.
Yeah, exactly. And
As opposed to the non-existent policy on, the Bethesda launcher.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, which is just the Bethesda launcher. It doesn't do anything else, and it
which
so-
is just
sort
an
of
automated
marginally
response.
does what it does.
Yeah, it's just an automated response telling us you can't refund it.
Yeah, exactly. Good try though. We're 2 steps ahead of you there. Bethesda always thinking ahead of the customer. That's a brilliant slogan. I should tweet at Pete.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Pete's tweets.
Yeah, Pete's tweets. Full of wisdom and and authority. Yeah, but mostly now he's retweeting stuff about, hey guys,
he went dark there for a little while after the launch.
Yeah, and now he's retweeting unpopular Bethesda tweets. All the memes are great, by the way. That's been the best part of this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
There's lots of my favorite one was the picture of the northern part of the Fallout 3 map, centered on Bethesda ruins, from Fallout 3. That was the best one.
Oh man, the most accurate depiction ever.
Yeah.
The apocalypse.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's everything on the topic list, at least. I'm not sure if there was anything else you guys wanted to get into.
No, I mean, you just watching my fucking Red Dead gameplay here. It's fucking, don't bother with online until they add solo stuff.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I don't.
So you're playing online right now?
Yeah. Why can't people
okay,
like? I'm not salty about like PvP stuff. Playing a PvP game, whatever. If you want to kill people, whatever. I'm not salty about it. But
yeah,
why does everybody have to be a piece of shit constantly?
Because they're 6 years old.
It's like yeah, but like, why can't you just be a human and play the game? There's no benefit to killing other players. Why do you constantly do it?
So a friend of mine was saying something about League of Legends, and he said no game that bills itself as the most popular game in the world could possibly have a good community. There's no way you can get all those people together and the community's still good. And I've sort of become convinced by that argument over the years. If you have so many people playing it, it's just like, let's say only like 2% of people really do suck. Like, that 2% of a lot of people is a lot of people. And it's probably not 2%. So, yeah, it's awful. Like, online communities generally, honestly, the best communities to me in games, with maybe the exception of things like, like some of the stuff Aaron plays, like Elite Dangerous and stuff like that, which are multiplayer but also have really dedicated fan bases. The best communities to me are communities around single player games, like the Elder Scrolls community. In my opinion, is one of the best gaming communities out there, and we have just as much like sort of to talk about. Like, there's just as much socialization you get on the one of the many subreddits. You talk to other people, you post on the forums or whatever. Like, it's just as social an activity sometimes playing a single player game as playing a multiplayer game is.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Aaron can attest to the Elite community.
Yes.
Even though that is a multiplayer game, a lot of it is the discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that is. I mean, it is still a multiplayer game, but because space is so big, there is a lot of the look at this thing I found. It's not. There's a lot of the emergent stuff that you can find with other players, but there is definitely a lot of the discussion, and I do appreciate that in a lot of communities because they can't really be toxic because. I mean, I guess you can still have toxicity, but in a single player game, it's harder than a multiplayer game, I think.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
just really fucking annoying when that's what it like devolves into. Because I mean, it's like Fallout 76, the community, and that's pretty great. I mean, I've played like a reasonable amount of time, more time than I put in entire other games, and I haven't encountered any assholes really. I mean, I haven't been shot at. I haven't been killed by other players. It seems like it's a good community. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's PC. Maybe the console communities are different. I don't know.
But I have heard that about Fallout 76, that it's a good community, generally speaking. So
Yeah, so I really don't understand what it is about maybe GTA or Red Dead, particularly Red Dead. GTA I can kind of understand because that appeals to all 4-year-olds. But Red Dead, I mean, that's a different experience. Maybe because it's more mainstream now. The people, I don't know. It brings out the worst in people. Like I can understand you're trying to like role play an outlaw or something, but people don't do that. People just go around shooting at everything that moves.
yeah, exactly.
So
And
it's dumb.
but even though I think like the Elder Scrolls community is great, if Skyrim was a multiplayer game, the Elder Scrolls community would be terrible because because the community that you actually interact with is a very small percentage of the people who've bought Skyrim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you had to deal with everybody who bought Skyrim and there was voice chat, it would be the worst community in the world. Right?
Absolutely.
That's the problem with games like if Red Dead was just a single player game and you got online to talk to people about it, you'd think Red Dead had the best community on the planet. I bet.
I mean,
because-
even now, like if just Reddit for Red Dead Online is great because like every
Right.
post is like I'm trying to wave at people and I keep getting shot at, or here's the it's always the minority of people that want the game to flourish and want to interact with players in a non-violent way. That's what it seems like a lot of Reddit is. And I guess even just the online community, people who go to other avenues to talk about the game, that seems to be that like segment of the community. Whereas people just playing it are generally like 4-year-olds being screamed at by their mom to stop
right,
spending
yeah.
thousands of dollars on their credit card.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what this game is now. Please give me a private solo or something, passive mode, so I can fish and hunt without getting shot at constantly. Jesus
So,
Christ.
if there's two things you can take away from tonight's episode, don't pre-order, and don't buy microtransactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Really,
you do
though.
both those things, I think we can see a positive change in the industry. And if you keep doing those things, it's going to get worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
if you
true.
like Red Dead specifically, then please submit feedback about online. Even if you haven't played it and you've just watched this video, submit feedback based on what you've seen. Because I mean, the more voices that we have talking to Red Dead, I think the better, or not Red Dead, Rockstar, the better.
Can I also just, before we go, include just sort of a personal quarrel of mine that you can't change your Bethesda.net username? You can't do it. Not possible. It's the only service I know of where you cannot change your username. Ubisoft lets you do it. EA lets you do it. League of Legends, Steam, everything else, literally everything else that I know of lets you change your username.
Not PSN.
Not PSN.
yet, anyway.
Yeah, I think aren't they releasing like a paid name change thing? Do I remember that story correctly?
Next year they're gonna let you be able to change your name depending on the game and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's right. Yeah, it's not going to hold for all games because weird things. Yeah, that was a strange story. I remember us talking about
I
that
guess
on
it's
the
based
podcast.
on like they have, because like on Steam you can't really change your username. You can change like your nickname. You have like once you set your account, then your URL, your Steam URL is what it is. But
Yeah.
you can change your nickname, everything that people see. So I think that's sort of how it's going to work with PSN as well.
Yeah.
So like, you're not changing your ID, you're changing it to a nickname. So I guess depending on some games, they might be able to display your nickname in the game, or they might just display your ID.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, Bethesda should be able to do a wide. There's not that many Bethesda games. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They should be able to do a wide range.
Yeah, I like that on their launcher. They can fit all of their games on the sidebar.
Yeah, exactly. Blizzard is the same way. You can also change your Blizzard name. I forgot about that one. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for us for this week. But we'll be back next week talking about new things, and we're getting sort of rather close to our end of the year show. We're sort of getting near that, so we'll probably be rushing to watch all the movies, and for some people playing
I know,
all the
I
games
won't.
that they didn't play. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yep, that's it
Yeah.
for this week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.